Hey Bernie, can I show you something? Sorry. Who took my money? Who took my money? Betty, who took my $25? I don't see it though. I didn't take it upstairs. I'm saving this until the Christmas, actual Christmas happens. Oh, oh, Bernie. What did they give you? They did different. So they give it to the cars. I love the cars. I love the cars because sometimes they got so little so they don't slip. You can see them. And here's father, here's the father. I love They know me because I work different than other people. The way I usually work for gifts is usually for money because I buy games. Rooney, this is pretty for you. Your phone is right here. Right here.
Whose phone?
Uh, let me check. Let me check. Rooney. She was trying to let you know where your phone is. Oh, and I started a stream a while ago. You know why? Play Digimon, right? Oh my god. Dad, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put this on webcam to show people what I received that I am terrified of. This Pennywise man, I made those impressions, but that don't mean I like him. I watched the two movies, you know what happened? Like with the movie Us. Remember there was a horror movie called Us? The whole night I stood awake like crazy of fear. I was like, dude, what if this becomes real? I know it's fake, but like, I was terrified. I was scarred mentally because you see Pennywise just bites the kid's head off. It's like, oh, don't go there, don't go there, little girl. He's gonna bite your head off. And that's in the second movie when the main characters are grown already. They're forced to fear. Oh my god, it was crazy. I was terrified. I hate Pennywise. I don't hate clowns, I just hate demonic clowns. Hey, Brittany, one time my dad and my mom took me to the circus? Brittany, can I tell you a story before you leave? You, yeah. I used to go to circus with my dad. I used to terrify of the concept but now, it is just something that and I feel like I don't know how to control them. You don't have to teach you because, no, I'm just, no, but because this, but I just, one of the slower, it's all, it just makes me like, oh, I don't know what to do this, I've been trying to learn some. At least I'm able to learn political. It's a dog! Oh, you know that Buster? That's Buster. I was about to say that. Yes, you know, Buster on top. Buster Hyper. Be careful when it's not copyright because I'm speaking. Stop it! Later, buddy. Oh, and then the next day I go over make sure to let the others, the owners, know. There's a lot of stupid people in this world. Even since Biden was around. That guy was around when Biden was around. But like they say, there's gonna be a lot of bad people, regardless, even if there are some nice people. But the ones we saw was a bad, bad dude. He was a psychopath. He was a criminal. He takes the water from the shelf and he opens it. Oh my God! He took the water without even paying in order to open it. And if you know what happened, he didn't even pay them. They just let him go out and he got put in jail. Like, and this was a black American, but there's so many Americans that do wrong. It don't have to be just a black American. You know, it's like there's a variety of nationalities that some of them are so like that because they work for the government or so they rely on stealing because they're in survival mode. But some of them try to make themselves look like, oh, I'm fancy because they steal a pair of glasses. That don't make you fancy. That makes you no better than what Trump is. What Trump does is steal from people. Like, he's similar to Trump, but in a homeless way. He's been through shit. Yeah, everybody's been through a lot of crazy stuff in the real world, right, Betty? Hey, Betty, alright, see you later. You have a good rest and take it easy. Love you. Hey, Betty, I said I love you. There you go, the funny gag. Hey, Betty, remember the super mega gagger? I love that video, man. Oh, too bad my phone is upstairs. Um, oh yeah, okay. Since I already connected my camera, guys. Oh my God, you won't believe this, and I am terrified of Pennywise. But I can do impressions, but I just don't like. Let me see if I can show. There he is, right there, Pennywise in the flesh. Oh my God, man. This is terrifying. Who can tell me this is not terrifying? Oh my God, this is scary. You see one of his sharp tooth that usually existed in the new reboot of the movie that they now started a series, but it's leading to the third movie. Like, this guy is creepy. Now they're showing him coming out of hiding. I saw a few clips. They usually cut off the part where either some part of the violence is there because YouTube, they're very strict with a lot of things. If you abuse the streaming, uh, you know, if you abuse the video that you put in there, you have to edit it before you put it there. Like, you don't want to cross YouTube's boundary, how you say it, the rules. You don't want to abuse the terms of service. The contract that you start off when you create an account for YouTube. And you can't mislead any people like you used to. Regardless, you couldn't mislead people. Because they changed a lot of the rules for YouTube like they did with Twitch, you know? But I mean, the changes aren't as bad as Twitch, you know? I would say YouTube, decent, not the best, but you can still make a decent profit. Oh boy, it's crazy. Twitch is not doing so well. Content creators who usually work on Twitch and make their profit as content creators on Twitch, a lot of them don't make the full cut like they used to. Instead, they made it where whoever's new to the platform would be able to make a lot more followers a little more easier and also receive donations from random. What's that sound? Hold on, I think the refrigerator is open. Nope. False alarm. Oh yeah, guys, I did beat this game, if you can tell, because of the Digi evolutions that I have so far. Yes, Abel? What happened? You coming back down to hang out with your younger brother?
Wow.
What? You coming down to spend down here time with your younger brother? No.
Okay.
Betty, I just showed the thing on my stream to the camera. I'm like, this is creepy. Hey, anyone who joins the stream or watches the video when it uploads from the stream, let me know what you think. Is Pennywise to you one of the creepiest dudes? Because the third movie that ends up happening after the TV series, because the TV series, if I remember correctly, is going to have 3 seasons. They're almost done with it. And then once they finish that, they're going to make the part 3 movie, which leads to that final battle. But like, Pennywise can go through time to other time loops. Like, he could go through different timelines where the main characters existed. And so the children that were the kids of the main characters, or not the kids of the main characters, they're just mostly random kids, or maybe they are the son and daughters of the main characters from the last 2 movies. Because in the second movie, we all know they grow up, the main characters that lost their friends, like the big brother lost his younger brother Georgie in the first movie. They're trying to figure out what did something to kill other kids, because bit by bit, day by day, a kid would get killed, would get eaten or put in a trance, whatever, but they're already dead, or they're still alive. But in the 3 different series, the 3 different seasons, I never watched the TV series version of it. I should be, in order to find out what's gonna happen in the 3rd movie when they start it up, because they're just trying to finish the show. Once they finish the show, oh boy, yeah. They'll definitely be working on their last movie, because basically this is gonna be where either Pennywise is successful killing all the main characters, because only a few of the main characters died. The dark skinned character from the movie, he dies in the series. That much I know, because they're trying to trick Pennywise, and then Pennywise takes off the fake face of the dark skinned dude. And I'm guessing he dies in that part. Some of them survive. If I remember correctly, the main character, he survives. And so, before he ends up dying, though, because I'm pretty sure he dies in the 3rd season or something, he tells a few kids that he gives them he tells them how they can stop Pennywise, the dancing clown, And so that's all I know because I've only been looking up clips, not complete spoilers. I've been looking at the end, almost at like around halfway into every season that existed from episode. I've seen only a few spoilers here and there. Because just in case if I decide to get into the anime. I mean, not anime, the show of Pennywise, which is called It Welcome to Derry. Because Derry is just the name of the town. And so the show itself takes place in a modern time. In the original two movies, the first movie was way old school. Bullies are way old school. They're basically just trying to bully the main characters, and since Pennywise saw hatred in this one main guy, not main guy, the bully, one of the bullies, he used that bully as a vessel. Basically like putting him in a trance to do whatever he tells him to, because that guy, that young bully, was already at a point of mentally ill. He was like not sick, but sick in the head, to where he thought violence was the answer. He just didn't like the other characters because he thinks them as nerds. You know how you say in reality where it's not right to bully a real life person, unless it's just part of an act, film, or show. Maybe. For sure. But like, not me. No. I used to bully a few friends that I never was friends with at first. And so there was this kid that I used to bully like the other kids in St. Martin de Porres. St. Martin de Porres is a religion high school that I used to go to. There were some teenagers, and they were in variety of skin color. They weren't just black American children, teens, or whatever. There was a variety of nationality because every school will mostly have different people of different language, or just born here, but their family speaks a different language than they do. Some people when they're born in New York, they just know English because they were born in New York. They go to American schools, and they know more English sometimes than their parents.
Ready to go.
Um, and there are times where I talk political things in this channel on YouTube. But not, I want to send a message for my cousin, because I know I was wrong. I should have just talked to her nicely, to let her know nicely about the situation. And yeah, I talked smack about her on the stream because of what she did, go in that direction. But I didn't even try to explain to her the reason why I reacted the way I did. And she thought I was blaming it on her, and I was making a mistake to say, I know what you did. I should have said, I know what my uncle did. Because, yeah, she got my uncle involved, but like, she wasn't aware, she wasn't aware on the two guardians in charge of my mom. So I have no grudge against her, and I wanna try and build up our bond back together. Even though I know sometimes when you get to that point, a family member will not trust you at all. Same thing like when you go to school and you lie to the teachers and stuff. Um, yeah, when you lie to the teachers, they don't take you seriously enough. Like because you weren't ever serious. And there was one time, every time I went to junior high school or high school itself, but this was during junior high school days. When I used to go to junior high school, um, I would always make an excuse to say, "Oh, I don't feel so good," and I did actually feel good. I didn't feel bad or anything. My stomach didn't hurt. Nothing was wrong. It's just I try to avoid school and try to stay home. And so, yeah, do I regret a lot of the things I did? Of course, of course. But like, I can't bring the past. But what I can do is I could fix my reputation as a human being with disabilities and try to make right. Try to make right. You know, that's the only thing I can do. So I have to do this again. Ugh, sorry guys, my neck is in so much pain. Um, see, I saw my cousin making a premiere video, and I heard because my dad and my sister were hearing what she said about the cream. My dad actually heard about the cream, and he knows the cream because he had it for my mom before. And so my cousin made a little oopsies. We all make mistakes, yes. In order to get them out of that situation, you would have to tell her either, cuz this is not a good video, delete it, try to, be there for her or him. I have a very good cousins, two very good cousins that I think they're my number ones. Well, to me, all of my cousins are my number ones. Like, there's no disrespect towards family. Yeah, there'll be times where I get overboard, but like, do I try and fix it? Oh, hell yeah. Because I don't want to cause a conflict, which I have already done with my cousin Sully. Um, yeah. My sister would always bring up, she's not blood related, you know that, right? Entirely. But she has her grandma. Her grandma married my uncle. And her mother was not blood related completely either. And her father. But like she married into the family. She's like, if I could tell her the reason why I acted that way is like, if I could tell the reason why I say, "Hey Sully, I told you I know you did." If I could say in a different way, not like that, because I know she didn't know that my sisters were the guardians of my mom. She tried to ask me for advice. I said it wasn't a good idea. And then, so, I could have explained to her the whole situation because she probably thought that I was going to be the one in charge of her. No, that's after my two sisters are no longer around. And by the time my two sisters are no longer around, my mom ain't going to be around that long either. She has dementia and Alzheimer's. So it can then lead to a point where she won't remember anything because she's starting to forget bit by bit, you know. And when my dad goes to the nursing home to see her, my mom, um, there are times where she's like, because the dementia side of things, it, she's telling my dad, "Where were you? Were you with another girlfriend?" My mom, I feel bad for you know, in a lot of ways. Oh, I remember this guy. I beat his butt. Now he's gonna go down in one shot. Watch this, guys.
Preparations complete.
One shot. Come on. Do it. Finish him fast. Finish him fast. Oh, that was it. Because I already beated the main campaign and now I'm doing New Game Plus. Wait a minute, why aren't there any voice acting in there? Is it because the line that they're in right now? What the hell? That's why, that's why.
Here we go. Here we go.
Probably also cutscenes. There we go. This one I can put at 2 and then go there. It automatically saves because I have auto save on there. And now I'll be able to hear some of these cutscenes. That's what that was. I have a friend through another friend, and he's an adult. He's Mexican, but he's a cool dude. We both agree on a lot of things. He disagrees with me on some things, but like he don't disagree with me with everything, because it's when you mention politics. Some people have the same, almost a lot of the same opinions as you, but you have to test them, you know? Just talk about things happening with New York, you know? Your location. If you live in the U.S., New York, yeah. Best to just test them out, see how they react, see how they respond. See, I had 2 friends. No, scratch that. I had 3 friends. The first 2, one guy named Brian, not the one that I'm friends with now. It's another Brian. And this Brian over here now is actually, he's a good person in ways. He can be an asshole sometimes, so can I. Because everybody in this world can be assholes, you know. Terrible friends from time to time. They'll make mistakes. So this old Brian that I used to met back then, I told him, hey dude, do you know how smart animals are? Because I think they're pretty intelligent. And he's like, no, animals are dumb. Dogs are dumb. Why? Because he only thinks if you feed them, then they'll do whatever you want them to. No, that's part of it. But the full thing with it is care and love for your dog. Put some music on for your dog. And after a few days, if you continue putting music in front of him, he will dance. Like a poodle will dance jumping. I'm sure big dogs dance in their own way, but it's so adorable. And so I told this Brian that existed in my friends list before, not now, way back, on PS4 times. The PS4 era. I streamed Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. And I try to let him know, because I was testing him in some ways. In some ways I wasn't, you know. So I mentioned one word in politics. Is that, you know Trump is an asshole, right? And so he says, no he ain't, he's my idol. Dude. Oh boy, if he's aware of what Trump is doing to him and his family and other people around the world, I hope he's aware of it now. I hope he sees what this president's trying to do, you know? Because this is when Trump was running first time in office. He was terrible, man. He even lied about a lot of things. He bullied citizens by sending his own voters to go against the other citizens. And then he bullies his own voters because now they're against him. And why are they against him? A lot of the majority, like his colleagues, a lot of them, more than what he has now, he still has Ted Cruz, and he still has Marco Rubio, because all he's doing is trying to intimidate them, to force them to do whatever he tells them to. Like, he could say, if you quit, I am going to get your family. It's like, dude. A president is not someone who dictates, who watches people and spy on them. No, he is a leader. Okay? He tries to solve the issues between the relationship of between us and our allies, right? Well, he's already turned allies against him, not the citizens, not just the people. But now there's a lot of white voters who used to vote for him who are now just tired of his bullshitting. So like, And Trump puts those tariffs, and here's what I learned about it. When he's pending some of those tariffs, I mean, yeah, some of them went through here, but through the countryside and other states, maybe the other states, but not the countryside, you see? But can it still affect them somewhat? Yeah. Because the reason why tariffs usually existed, they existed throughout time, since our leaders before now. And, before there used to be some good Republicans that would backstab their own kind to try and fix things. It's like white supremacists. The government that tries to bring white supremacists like Trump and Ted Cruz and Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney is actually against what Trump does as a Republican, but also as someone who took an oath, Margie Taylor Greene, though. Margie Taylor Greene made a mistake. And that mistake was to do whatever Trump told her to do. Yes, I get it. A leader is supposed to tell his own staff or whatever, or Congress members, to think of a strategy on how to help the United States, not put tariffs against countries with products and prices. Like, if you think about it, my healthcare is covered completely. My dad and my mom, they're being charged non-stop because they don't have disabilities. They're not like special ed or anything. I myself am somewhat special ed because I have slight autism, ADHD. Skip this. So, my insurance for me is free, okay? But if my dad and my mom's insurance goes down, because every insurance that my mom is getting is the same service through my dad, because now my dad gave her Medicare and he has Medicare. They are basically, how you would say, old age in some ways. But to me, in my eyes, I consider them my beautiful mother and father, And I think confident, I try to think confident because I say, if I was born into this world by my mom and dad, that just means I inherited their good looks, nobody ever looks terrible or ugly or bad. They're just different, people are different. And yeah, there'll be times where you'll say, um, I'm willing to be friends because I don't want a relationship at this time. Like, it could be any way you respond. You have to respond in the right way. Express yourself, be honest, be yourself. And so, see, I try to hold a charity a few times on this channel on YouTube. Um, but it's like I said, I did it way too early. I have to wait until like I have enough subscribers, enough supporters, and I just try to take that chance to support charity. And so nobody donated, but like I do have a donation button for like supporting my channel and stuff like. And if I could reach super chat, then you know what I want to try and earn my subscribers. My cousin Sully, who I want to get along with. I don't mean. I was just trying to let her know and give her the heads up, like a warning. And because the way I said it, it made it sound like I was against her. And I'm not trying to be against her. I'm sure she's aware of that. And I know she goes through a lot of pressure herself. Because think about it. I don't know if you guys know this, but this might be something she don't want people to hear. But it's important. She nurses her grandparents. Okay, guys, she gets paid by the government to like support her grandparents and nurse them and keep an eye on them and stuff like that. And of course, she did become a full-fledged nurse. But when she made that one video talking about a cream, saying it helps everything, and there were time where I would tell her, no medicine will have a cure for every effect. They'll have a limit. It's when you search up on the internet, and I searched up in the internet one time in front of her because I tried to tell her, Sue, not no medicine has a cure to cure everything. It's just some people on the internet mislead her. So to a point where now she believes that there is a cream that will help everything. There is no cream that will help everything. And because she took down the channel, I pissed her off, but I do it out of care. I didn't mean to do it out of disrespect. And to her, she might think and take it as disrespect, which I hope she don't. Um, like, yeah, there are a lot of things I regret since the day my uncle went over there to the nursing home. And the night before that happened, the day before that happened, my cousin, my uncle, and my aunt, which is Tati, my aunt, she's my titi, okay? I'm Puerto Rican, so in our way and in some other Spanish ways, either Puerto Ricans will make the word tia, which stands for titi regardless. Titi, which is the true meaning of aunt. Um, so my mom is my cousin's aunt, okay? If I remember correctly. Yeah, she's my cousin's titi. Um, I don't know too much Spanish. I don't know how to speak a lot of Spanish, but I'm trying to pick up here and there. And the full interest of mine is I want to learn Japanese. Do I know it's not simple? Yes, I know it's not simple. I've seen some content creators who are usually bigger than others, and I mean they're not completely big, but like they're big in their own way as content creators. Me, I'm just a tiny ant streamer, you know. Um, so I've seen this one YouTuber. She took. I don't know if I mention her name, it's gonna be considered self promotion. I don't want that to be a thing. I just want to explain the things her as a content creator had to go through in some ways because usually she'll make videos updating on the situation and she would make videos letting people know how hard it was for her to become a Japanese citizen because it's all a full on process. You have to go to Japanese school, learn how to, write in Japanese or speak Japanese. Speaking Japanese ain't that difficult if you learn it and listen closely to how they talk. Um, can some words in Japanese be hard to say? Yeah, of course, depending on what you're not used to and what you are used to speaking. See, me, I'm used to speaking American, okay? And I could say the word in Spanish, americano, okay? Americano, that's what I am, okay? But I'm New Yorican. That's the way I would like to put it. I know New Yorican isn't really a actual thing. Like you can't be considered a Puerto Rican American like that. You know that word is just meant there as an expression. And so last year, the ending of last year, of course, I've been through hell. Not being able to know how to deal with my mom when she was at dementia already. And then this year, she's starting to lose memory. She forgets over and over. So when I use, I should probably call her right now. I think my dad should be around her. Let's see. Okay, hold on, guys. I'm gonna pause the stream. Hey, I'm back, guys. I just had to pause the stream for a while. You know, I gotta drink this milk before them flies try and get in it. There's always a fly around this area in the porch, the front porch. Like, we have a built-in front porch, but like, it ain't anything too fancy, you know? It's nothing like fancy like a big old mansion or anything. We're just an average family, Puerto Rican family. Um, so there was one thing I was gonna mention as well, about me and my cousin. You know, back in the day when I only had a tablet, and this was when I was 16, 17, and 18 years old. 3 ages up there. See, I got a tablet for the first time when I was like 16, and then I ended up getting it at 17 and then 18. The day 18, the day number 18 of the day of that month when I first started getting my first tablet. I used to communicate through Messenger with my cousin Sully, and if she thinks that she's not really a family member, I told her a few times when it don't matter if you're not blood related at all, as long as your grandma is married to my uncle, no matter what, she is part of the family. And I know if Sully's watching this, my cousin, Fun with Sully, who now goes by Estrella Gonzalez. Hey, cuz, if you're watching this stream or watching the video of the stream that got uploaded, I am sorry. I know I didn't get the try. I didn't even try to explain to you the reason behind anything and who was the one that saw my uncle, your grandpa. Um, and I know you told my uncle without realizing, without being aware, that I don't have guardianship over my mom. Okay? So if you ever decide to, let me just show you how dedicated I am to building our trust back up. Um, you know, okay, hold on. Let's see. In order for me to find my cousin, I have to go to search. Zulinet. Okay. Okay. I don't know if this is her original number. Is it because I blocked her? Zuli? Oh, I think my cousin got rid of her phone completely. Um, how do I find her? I might not be able to find her because of, me taking her out completely. Let me check something here. Can I search through here? Oh, yes. Okay. Doing that. Damn, I think she changed her number. Let's see. Did she change her number? Oh yeah, I think she did. I want to see. Can I check the numbers that I blocked? Oh boy. I think I might be in the message. We're in a group from way, way back. But the problem is, if she changed her number, then I'm screwed. Then I can't contact her at all. Ah, there we go, there we go, there we go. Okay. Uh, I hope this is her number. Message you replied with the word stop. This ain't silliness, no. Oh, this is my cousin. Okay, okay, okay. Damn. Okay, add. Um, that's fine. Oh, right. Please tell me she was added. I'm gonna try and call her and try to. Okay, here we go. Right. Okay, yeah. I think my cousin blocked me for good. Uh, crap. Damn. Okay, okay. Shoot. Yeah, she blocked me and I blocked her from the start too. I should have her old number in my history. Let's see. Search up. Unknown. Nothing's an unknown. Yeah, I think she might have blocked me completely. I hope she's okay, man. Because I could have explained to her in like a calm manner, you know? And I could have been a little more nicer to her because the reason why she wanted her money back was because she was mad at me because she did me a favor and she was getting me into the game. And so, whenever that last moment from this year, uh, oof, we both made a mistake. Like, I made the mistake to, put something against her on YouTube and say she lied about that, she lied about that. I could have just spoken to my cousin Sully, who goes by the name Estrella Gonzalez. Um, I could have explained things to her in full detail because at that moment I wasn't aware who was gonna be the guardian, and so, but I still tried to tell my cousin that's not a good idea. And if you look up in the internet, like some people don't trust the internet. I can understand that because there are some false information there. But like the things I learned to deal with somewhat of my stress can be somewhat controlled. But even when you're healthy, you can still be negatively impacted through negative stress. Like, it depends on what you deal with in your own household with your parents. And my mother has already starting to forget things. But not everything, just a few things. And like, I want my cousin to understand that because if they had took her out, even if they had the permission, like my mom, she requires actual nutrition. You know, my cousin, when she used to come and visit here that last time, she gave my mom cookies. And I said, all right, let her try it out, you know? And then I said to her as well, just don't give her too much. If they're sugar, not zero sugar, then that's not good for her. Because my mom had type 1 and type 2 diabetes. If I remember correctly, type 2 diabetes, right, is one of the worst ones. I mean, not the worst one, one of the stages that lead to the worst stage. Type 1 diabetes, if I remember correctly, is the worst one. And so whenever she used to tell me, hey, why don't you share a cookie with mom? I would share with her one. And then my cousin would kind of spoil her in some ways because my mom loves sweets. You know, she would eat anything. If it's artificial sweeteners, she would eat that. She would eat natural sweeteners. It don't matter. All that matters is if she likes the taste, she would eat it, you know. I remember when she used to sit in the living room right over here on the other side of me. Um, she was when I serve her a drink that I made a milkshake of, uh, when you have a family member who has dementia, in a way with dementia, they're not aware of the taste. So when I made something that she likes, because I served it to her as a milkshake, she'll make this weird face. Hold on, let me let you see that weird face. I'm gonna put the light in the corner. Wrong one. But I think that's good. But this one has oh, that's right. My phone is right here. My phone. I try to search things that can help me, and when you check up what's recommended to help improve your ADHD and your negative triggers, because a lot of those negative triggers, when you get negatively stressed and negatively anxiety, and then fatigue, you know. See, in a way, I'm starting to have like migraine. So what up? Is that a fly? Okay, that's it. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna take something to help the migraines. I learned that you can rely on vitamin B12 or vitamin D, like this right here, milk, can somewhat help the fatigueness control it, you know. If you feel stressed, if your blood pressure is just going off the roof or going really down, the best thing you can do to improve that stressful feeling is nutrition wise. But like, it can only help you control it to an extent because the things that I learned no matter how healthy you are, even if you don't even have disabilities at all, um, you can still get negatively impacted by negative triggers no matter what. You'll still have a negative trigger. Or what I would like to call it is a negative anger, you know, where you and the other family are not getting along because of what she had as old age. See, I'm her son, okay? Of course, everybody knows I am a son of two, um, one of the best two parents I've ever had. And last year I used to get negatively triggered because I would do a little bit more for myself because I was already getting like completely stressed. I had anxiety. It was mostly because I worried about it. And somewhat of it was also due to negative triggers. And so people would think like there's a few people in this world that if they had a child and that child has ADHD, meaning they could get triggered really easily. Um, Instead of taking care of them, because if that person with ADHD and slight autism also existed, and of all of a sudden he's like hitting that person, it's not like they mean to do it, you know? And then in other parts of the state, if you have ADHD and a parent who is just a regular parent who has not very much of disabilities like they used to, because they learned how to control that disability or no disability at all, the parent has no disability at all, it can still negatively impact them. When you get negatively triggered, the person, regardless, is going to get that negative vibe. Negativity, negative emotions, it's contagious in a way. They're like mental and emotional states. It all works with the brain and your emotions. And so, let's say you have a thing you like, let's say for an example, I watch anime. My dad don't watch anime. And he don't watch anime because why? There's a lot of stupid people that say the reason why they want Japan to stop sending anime and try to kill the culture of anime here is not just a political thing, is a toxicity thing. If you see MMOs, like think about it, for example, people who support Nintendo regardless because of what their opinion is, oh, I've been playing this in childhood, so I'm still gonna support this. See, after what I found out about what Nintendo is doing to pocket pair the owners and developers and publishers of Palworld, being in a lawsuit against Nintendo because Nintendo put the lawsuit against them first. And they're dealing with multiple lawsuits. It ain't just Pocket Pair. They're dealing with Hoyoverse because Hoyoverse is also making a game. See, business in general can also be considered a political thing. Religion, that can also be considered a political thing. Since way, way back, since Jesus used to be around. Before he got hanged on the cross. See, there were a lot of people back in those days when Jesus was around and he was trying to lead the Jews. And when he was leading, those people that he led, like the chosen, when they saw him and he showed some respect towards them and tried to teach them that there's not good people in this world, but there are some good people in the world. And so they thought of him because when he started to fit in, and they found out he was a messenger of God, you know, God's son, the Son of God, those people that were chosen by Jesus to put as the chosen, they thought of him as one of their own. They thought of him as what you call rabbi. It's like you're considered one of them. If they call you a rabbi, it's just an expression, something that they are calling you because they are close to you. And so some of them always continue to follow in Jesus' footsteps as the chosen. There's a 5th season of The Chosen that I have to watch because I've watched all 4 seasons, I believe, that existed on Disney Plus through Hulu. But because of my location and because of the position I am with Disney Plus, because the owner of the Disney Plus service is one of my sisters, and she's in a different side of the city in this town. Way, way beyond this neighborhood. But like, because of that, and she's the one that owns the account because she's the one that made it somewhat. Because I'm here and she's over there, a lot of these apps, including money apps, a lot of these somewhat money apps too, it's based off of everything app-wise. If you let someone, like, let's say you made 2 profiles in any type of free movie service app, because they'll put you to make another profile, add it, and if you add it for someone else, she or he would have to be in that same location where she's at or he's at. So I can't use Disney Plus because I'm in a rural area, and of course she's probably in a rural area. But like, it don't matter. She's in a different side of the city here. She's not like completely far away, but like she's on the other side of whatever neighborhood we're in. And so because they had the account made on that address and that location in this part of the city, if she is not close to you, like if she's not in your household and she's in a different location, what the owners of the app does is, the way they do this is based off IP tracking, you know. So if I may not be able to use Disney Plus, but my sister or my nieces, if they had the time, they could use it, but I can't. And so what I do is I rely on the free movie websites on my PS4. I don't download them because usually when you download them, it's considered piracy. And modding your firmware on the PS5 or PS4 is considered piracy. If you mod a game, in a way it's considered piracy. Because what piracy is, it's many things, you know. It could be you downloading a video, an anime series to your system illegally. And that is illegal to like download anime to your PS4 or PS3. But it's not, there's nothing against you having to use a flash drive to watch them, as long as you can't really actually download them. So, like, as long as you're not as long as you're not abusing the boundary guidelines between the agreement terms of service by like downloading games and putting it on your system automatically, and then as long as you don't have the video downloaded to your system, it's fine. It's just streaming. So if you're using a streaming website, it's okay. It's alright. But like if you download a video to your system directly, like instead of just using a flash drive and watching it through the flash drive, that is considered piracy. Piracy is if you download something and you download it illegally from an illegal website. Back then there was this website called, I believe it was called U-Turn or something, and then there was another one, Pirate Bay. Pirate Bay, if I remember correctly, they got taken down completely, but then they changed their website in a little bit of a way. So regardless, it still exists. Will it be usable? Maybe, maybe not. By now, who knows? And let me just tell you guys something real quick. Don't make the mistake of downloading a PlayStation code generator, because turns out if there was a real one, it's owned by Sony, because they're the ones that place the codes hidden in the card where you have to scratch it off. They put those in the market. They're the ones putting them cards in the market. So that way some of the markets will make some of that profit. Some won't, depending. So like there was a place in Jamaica, all the way on the other side of where I live. I live in a rural area, yes. I can't say what the location is, but I can tell you this. If you go to the other side of my town, part of the area, like on the other side of where I live, way, way over there, continue going that way. When you go forward, you go that way, all the way that direction. It will lead you to Jamaica. So there was a Hindu store, which was a mom and pop shop. Okay, the prices that they put for their products, like the consoles, they try to put it based off of what was in eBay. Like a lot of people who were selling the PS5 on eBay for $1,000, those were scrappers, man. I went to a GameStop that before it shut down. I used to ask one of the guys who was an employee at GameStop during the pandemic when the PS5 started launch. And so after I was able to get a PS5, I would just tell the guy and ask him a question, and he's gonna try and avoid it because he was probably involved in that. He was probably the one who was trying to rip off the business. And I've heard a lot of people that quitted the job for GameStop was because I believe it was because they weren't getting paid enough. Some of them. I'm not entirely sure. I used to know people that used to be in GameStop working. And when I used to go to GameStop again, you only sometimes see one person who wants to hide the fact that scrappers came here and he gave the scrappers the last consoles. And so Sony and GameStop themselves, the CEO of GameStop basically, decided to put a little more extra PS5s in stock. But was that good enough? No. Over there, it wasn't good enough. Because the business was already doing bad. And I was in line, okay? I was in line. I saw one teenager who was bringing, I believe, two PS5s or three. I think it was two PS5s. And he tried to put it in the van. And so that's someone that you already know who might end up being one of those scrappers. Because he did say he was going to have one to sell and one to keep for himself. The other guy in the line who knew him was like, man. They said one per person. But like, this is the thing. He's just trying to make a quick buck. $1,000 on eBay. That ain't good. The reason why the value of a lot of the gaming console systems, the reason why the values of the consoles were mixed up and priced the wrong way was because of eBay. eBay is the key and heart to this market here. A lot of people shop from eBay. A lot of people sell on eBay. And some of them random, some of them not random. And if I remember correctly, even Amazon has some random people now these days making it look like they're selling a product. Because I have an app that is to detect maliciousness. It's called Anti-Byte Anti-Malware, I believe. Or anti-malware and anti-malware anti-malware, whatever. It notifies me about some of these websites like Amazon, who used to be legitimate, and it's still legitimate. It's just they're telling people in an email through notification, letting you know that Amazon has actual people who are not actually part of any business, like what happened with eBay. eBay is completely usually random people, and some of them are good. They'll sell you a product like they promised. Let me just let you guys know, I actually had a bad experience with eBay, because the guy wasn't used to the location here, and the guy who was selling that product that I paid through, he was trying to get the package delivered. He wasn't joking. He wasn't fooling around. Because the reason how I can tell is because the way he spoke to me was like, he called me and asked, he tried to get my location so he could deliver the product. And that's how you know when the person is actually trying his best, not just to help himself by making a little money, but also being honest and legitimate, you know? Like, if a person does not have an actual business, but they can sell stuff on eBay and make a little bit of money here and there, as long as they're selling the product is good, you know, or in decent condition. As long as it's pre-used, but it's in decent condition where you can still play the system. Um, so what happened was, when I got the call, he was still, he was trying to understand the address that I'm in. And because he wasn't used to traveling around here, but like, he called, he told me, hey, what's your address so I could deliver the package? And this was me when I was like 17 or 18, maybe 16 years old. That was way back. I didn't know how to explain addresses. My own address. He would ask me, is it 9319 212th Street? I said, no, it's a different one. And see, the reason why I say different instead of mentioning my actual address is to make sure I don't get how you call it, a swap team. Because a lot of YouTubers, there's some people's on their neighborhood because either they're black Americans or from different nationality, or if they have beef with you, because you expose them for who they are. Or just sometimes little kids like to pull pranks. And so when those kids pull the pranks on actual content creators, is because that person was a viewer on his stream and on his channel. He watch. He don't follow. He don't subscribe, but he watches things, and he's like, "Ooh, maybe I could pull a fast one on him." Sometimes it's just because other people don't like other nationality, race, and stuff. Um, so even though they're content creators, they are from a different race. You have content creators from around the world on YouTube, and a lot of other content creators who used to exist on Twitch are leaving Twitch because of the fact they have no freedom to make the content that they like to make them. Because every time they make a stream of something like sexual related, sexual art style, um, and a majority were Genshin supporters, okay? I don't usually stream Withering Waves on Twitch because I know of how many people that exist on Twitch that mostly support Genshin. And so I don't want to make that mistake, because if I start streaming Withering Waves on Twitch and somewhat on YouTube, because when they're on your Twitch channel stream and they know you're not streaming on Twitch, they think, oh, he's streaming on YouTube. All they want to do is just piss you off and bring toxicity towards you and your viewers. Um, they troll you basically. What time is it? Almost 6 p.m. Hold on. Sorry guys, hold on. Hold on for a few. I'm gonna take at least maybe a few minutes or maybe an hour to check up Pause the
You, a
stream.
Digimon. You
Hey
are a
guys,
Digimon
sorry
after
for the
all, so
pausing.
you of course may stay if you so
I
desire.
was talking with family, my dad and my mom.
Humans are best suited to their own
Um,
world, and the same is true for Digimon
and
as
if
well.
anyone who
Is the
is new
human
to this
world not a
stream
difficult
or to
place
the
for you to live
channel
in?
watching
I heard
this
that you were even
when
forced
it
to conceal
uploads
your
as a
true
video,
appearance there.
when I was a teenager, when I was 18 years old,
I do not expect you to make a
I
decision
still
here
didn't
and
pay no
now.
mind. I wasn't
I
aware of what
suggest
I
you think
had
long
going
and hard on the
on,
matter.
like, because I
Let's
have
head to the
multiple
garden base.
disabilities.
I imagine Junimon
And
might
of
have
course,
some
I'm gonna
unique
skip
info.
this cutscene. Not because I want to, in a way so, but like, I already seen it, and this is not a let's play, but I'll probably make a let's play, and I'll start from square one. Um, so, yeah, I was explaining how I didn't want to make my cousin, who she thinks she's not my cousin. I don't want her to think poorly of me, which I have already done, without even trying to explain why I said that wasn't a good idea. Instead, I said, I know what you guys did. I know what you guys did. But that was just out of pure much of a grudge. And I've been holding that grudge in for so long, to a point where I'm like, what kind of person am I becoming? I'm not usually the type of person who would hold a grudge. And so I was mentioning the story how when I had my first tablet, I started using Messenger and Facebook on that tablet. And whenever she wasn't in a good mood, I would ask her, "Hey, cuz, want to hang out? Are you in a good mood?" She didn't. I didn't say good mood, but I said, "Hey, cuz, want to hang out?" And she responded like, "Oh, leave me alone. I'm not in the mood." And, back then I didn't understand the term mood. It is an expression which I did not know about, where the person just needs time for herself. But if she feels the need to rely on a family member, hey, I was always trying to make and look up stuff that she deals with somewhat and try to help her. Because I know she's with um, one of my youngest cousins. I can't say the name. That's something personal between the family and her, as my family too. Um, no matter what, I want to make right. You know, I hope. I don't know if I could still go to her YouTube channel. Oh man. If I told her I got carried away and I didn't try to explain it simply, I didn't try to explain to her that I wasn't in charge of my mom, you know? And I could have let her know that without having a temper tantrum saying, Sully, I know what you done. I should not have done that. That's not the way I should respond. And I have like 3, 4 friends on my PlayStation that I still hang out with, more than a lot of my others. And I know a lot of my friends that exist on PlayStation friends list. Um, Either they have a son or a daughter who is playing their game, because a lot of the friends that I met back on the PS4 time, um, oh yeah, they were mostly adults. A lot of them, majority of friends that I made, were already at their adulthood and had relationships, because you know but the thing is, if a person ain't into relationships, he's just gonna just sit there and wait until he's ready. Because he needs to make money, he needs to have enough money to support a family. Like me in my head and feeling it, I feel like later down the road when my dad ain't able to, like, let's say if Medicaid gets taken down due to a political issue, right? Trump himself, because he's trying, like, a lot of these things that exist in healthcare wise that are having issues, it's him. I don't know if you heard the story, guys, but there were a family that received a call from his healthcare staff, and he gave them the healthcare that he was providing. And this family, they weren't charging less, they were charging more and more. Like, they had to pay more and more for the healthcare plan. And they basically fell for the Trump president scam. Like, uh, the tariffs, or not the tariffs, the stimulus check that used to exist from Trump and COVID, yeah, he was forced to give that money, but he was using a fake check. But the thing is, if you look things on the internet, there are some stuff that the internet from the government that exists in the White House now, Trump don't want to tell anybody what he was really trying to do. Instead, he explained the opposite of what he was trying to do. So when he said that he was trying to bring affordable health care for everyone, he meant his side, his wealthy people side. And there are a lot of voters who voted for Trump who are not usually wealthy. They are citizens. They became citizens here. But they were being misled by the things he said, because the things he said. Hold on, let me check what time it is. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna take my mess. I'll be back. Real. I gotta take 2 clonazepams and 2 benzotropins to help a little more with the focus. So that's 4 milligrams of 2 different pills. Hey guys, excuse me for a minute. I'm gonna mute my microphone from the controller and check something, and I'm gonna take my medicine. So I'll pause it because I'm gonna check something, but I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm gonna get my headsets. I'll be right back. Okay. Keep watching. Don't miss out. That game is epic. It's awesome songs. Oh yeah. Hey guys, I'm gonna re-download Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. I mean, I deleted all the saved data, and I'm gonna like start freshly on Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. So and then after I'm able to like beat the whole game on stream, and this will probably end up being a let's play. So um, I'll just get out of this thing here, and then go here, save, because I want to save the progression I already made so far. Now I don't want to exit the application itself, the program right off the bat. I am going to end the stream here, and I'm gonna get Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 re-downloaded and make a let's play out of that, you know? But early on, I'm gonna be leveling up through Parallel Quest to earn Zenny so that I could pay one of the Namekian characters in there, the NPCs, to like level you up to an extent. And while I have my phone down here, I'll also make sure to check how I can unlock the final few levels. So, alright guys, see you in a little bit. If the game is able to download fast enough, I'll try to stream it. Alright guys, see you soon.